You know what, if I worked for AT&T and somebody came in and asked for the HTC Titan, I'd probably say the HTC Titan. It's a little scary, but it's a powerhouse of a device. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and this really is a monster when it comes to Windows Phone specs. It's got a 1.5 gigahertz processor, a massive 4.7-inch display, an 8-megapixel camera on the back with 720p HD video recording, and it's rocking Mango out of the box. Now this is $200 out of the gate with a 2-year agreement, so it's right up there with AT&T's 4G LTE devices. So is it worth it? We'll find out in the review. But first, some love to Best Buy Mobile. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get this, you won't deal with rebates with this device or any other device. You won't deal with paperwork, waiting 8 to 10 weeks to get it back, those stupid annoying debit cards. At Best Buy Mobile, rebate free, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look at this HTC Titan. So come on with me into part 2. Let's take a look at some of the core functionality of this device, the actual phone applications, because hey, it's a phone after all, right? So you can see here, we're in the actual call history area and the actual call application. You can see that the wireless indicator pops up. So you do get that when you're making a call. So at least, I guess in Microsoft's mindset, they're thinking, well, you really only need to know your reception when you need to make a phone call. I disagree with that because data is pretty crucial. But you do at least get this when you're making a call. So you can come in here and we'll dial 611, for example, so you can see what the call screen looks like. And I have the Mango color scheme on right now, so the end call button is in Mango. And then you can see here I can easily access the number pad. I can see speaker, mute, hold, and then I can add a call from there. So I can do it all. It's very clean, very easy, and the fonts look great as well. And if I ever wanted to dial back 611, I can either press it and see the contact history, or I can dial back from there. Now I get the option to check voicemail, I get the option to go to contacts, and I get the option to search as well. So we'll load straight into contacts here, and you can see I have my Twitter account synced up with this, and this is pretty cool. This is the People Hub within Windows Phone, and you can see here what's new, so you can read all of my stuff here, and you can see some of my Twitter accounts here that I follow. You can see what's new, and then you can see the most recent thing that I tweeted. Somebody asked how many Motorola Droid devices there are, and I was like, quite a few. And so you can see here between family, I've got Billy Bob, customer support, old man, and this is a pretty cool feature. I've got a couple of different contacts here with different phone or with different different names, if you will. So I can go in here to see, and you can see the ones that are highlighted are the contacts I actually have. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. So you can be like, oh, I don't have any contacts that end in or that start in D or start in E or G, for example, but I do have P, R, T, O, B, and C, and I can click on it. It takes me right to O. From there. So PhoneDog Aaron's a pretty filled out contact here. So I'll show you this when I have a screen picture or a little capture there. I have the mobile number, I have text, I have company, and I can see the history of when I've called, or I can search Google Mail and see when I've emailed PhoneDog Aaron as well. So that's pretty cool, and that's not my actual number, just so you know, that's a demo phone number. But you can see down here I have some additional options. Delete, I can pin, I can link, and I can edit. So again, they're really focusing on cleanliness, ease of use, and more. So it looks good, it's easy to access, and like I said, there's some neat features like that. So we'll go ahead and add a contact so you can see what it looks like on the front end here. So we'll go to Windows Live, we'll create it there, and I can add a photo, and then from here I have all these little options. I can click plus, I can add a name, not Ho, Joe Brown, and then I can come back here and hit save, and you can see it's just populating it in as we go. So pretty quick and easy to do, and then when I'm done I hit save, and bam, Joe Brown is now saved. And just underneath it you'll see that this is a Google contact, for example, and then when I go back to Joe Brown you can see that it's a Windows Live contact. So if you have more than one contact email account that's filtering in contacts, you can see where they come from. Or if you have somebody in here that has Twitter account and a Google, they're in your Google contacts, you'll see Google, Twitter. So it's nice and easy and shows you where those people actually are. So functionality, very quick, very easy. You're in and out and ready to go. Now HTC, obviously you'll notice that Sense isn't pre-installed on this device. And if you go back to old Windows Mobile days, you'll remember that they had a Sense overlay on devices like the HD2. So that's something to keep in mind. They do have HTC Hub, and you can see it right here. And you see as soon as you open it up, it kind of bears resemblance to HTC Sense here with the clock widget, with the current temperature of the area that you're at, and the option to select more here. And then I can scroll over and see stocks, I can see news, I can see featured, all from HTC Hub, and I can get more, some more applications if I want to from the Windows Marketplace. So you do have a bunch of different options in HTC Hub, and that's pretty nice. That said, Microsoft's pretty strict this time around on the customizations they're allowing. They've given some leeway to Nokia, but not necessarily to HTC and some of the other OEM vendors. So you see HTC Hub, And that's about it. That's really the only presence of HTC you get on this device. Still, it's a pretty useful application because I can come over here pretty quickly and check out my stocks. I can see that the Dow was up 52 points today. I can come over here and see the time, the weather, and I can click on it, and then I can get kind of a similar functionality, if you will, to HTC Sense version 3.0 or 3.5, where I have my AccuWeather with some weather predictions. I've got that nice little animated thing behind the current weather, and I can see sunset, winds, and then of course the current temperature. So very cool there. You do get that feature, but as soon as you go out of it, you're out of that application and you're right back onto the main screen. Now again, I was talking a little bit in part one about dynamic tiles. And you'll notice here, for example, with the Me, you'll notice it flips back and forth periodically, and a lot of the apps in Windows Marketplace are supportive of this dynamic tile setup. So you can see with my people here, they're flipping around little tiles, and you're going to see at some point a picture of me pop up for Phone Dog Aaron, which I just showed you. So if you have a lot of contact pictures, you'll see them pop up in all shapes and sizes. You'll see maybe a bigger square, a rectangle, a smaller square, and more. So those dynamic tiles are pretty nice. It kind of adds to the aesthetic. There it is, right there. It adds to the aesthetic of Windows Phone, and makes it more customizable, which is always a nice thing. Also, you'll see that the pictures one changes. It's on Mangoes right now and just changed over. So you get these dynamic tiles, and it's pretty cool actually when you see 5 or 6 dynamic tiles all running at once. It may seem like sensory overload to some people, but it's pretty cool to kind of get real-time weather information and real-time information about me and pictures popping up and more, which is a nice touch. So here's Windows Marketplace. Let's take a look at this, and you'll load it up, and you can see AT&T App Center, so you do get a dedicated spot to download your AT&T apps. You also get HTC apps, which is pretty nice, and then of course you can go into the apps within the device itself. So you can see here some recommended apps. We can go over here and see some games, some music, and more. Now it's all in one spot, but they've done a pretty good job with recent versions of Windows Phone with customizing and kind of separating it. So we can go to Twitter, for example, and this is always kind of my stock example. But you can see your Twitter pops up, and then in apps plus games. And I can scroll over to music if for some reason I'm looking for some music that has Twitter as a title or Twitter in the name somewhere. And then I can see podcasts as well with like This Week in Twitter and things like that. So I come over here, and this is already installed. So let me think of something I don't have. I don't have Seismic. Actually, I don't have Weather Channel. Let's do that. So we'll go ahead and download Weather Channel so you can get an idea of what it looks like. And there it is. And you can see a nice big picture here. You've got your reviews over here, and you can see how the font kind of trails off the screen in that Metro UI format. So you can see reviews here, some screenshots. You've got your related stuff if you want a different weather application, stuff that's related to weatherchannel.com. And then you can see here it's free with a star rating, and then you get some information all on a pretty easy to read display. So you can see you can share it or install it. So we're going ahead and install that, and it does access our location. But we'll download this and get it rocking and rolling. So you see it goes back to the app selection here, and automatically you can see a little bar that's pushing through here and installing, which is a nice little touch. And while that's installing, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this because I know you want to see this. This is an HSPA Plus device. It is not a 4G LTE device. It supports speeds of up to, I believe, 14.4 megabits per second on AT&T's HSPA Plus network. So yeah, you do get some fast speeds. Debatable as to whether it's true 4G or not, but it is branded as 4G, as you can see right here. So it's not LTE by any means, but let's do a speed test and get an idea of what we're working with on AT&T's HSPA Plus right now in the Charlotte metro area. So, while it's doing this, I'll tell you, call quality's been pretty decent on this device. I've been pretty impressed with it. The earpiece is nice and loud, and like I said before, it only has a 1,600 milliamp hour battery, but I've been really impressed with the battery life on this device. Now, granted, it's not as power hungry as Android, but still, 1,600 with a gigantic display like that, to be able to make it through a day is pretty impressive. So we're running here, and I'm not sure what went on. It looks like we have a download speed of 0 megabits per second. So let's see if we can get a better score here. And I can give you an idea. If not, we'll just take a look at the history and you can see what I've been working with. So we're going to upload now and try this. Let's see. Don't know why it's not cooperating right now, but you can see here, here's the history that we've been working with. So I've seen some pretty poor speeds, at least today and on December 3rd as well. So 3 days ago, I've seen speeds, 0.82, 0.0, or 0.6 megabits per second. And more. So, the speeds haven't been that impressive, but I have seen, at one point I did see before I deleted all this out and reinstalled the OS or did a hard reboot, I did see some speeds between like 2 and 3 megabits per second. So it can definitely get up there, but for some reason, whatever reason, at least when I've been running this test, they've been kind of less than impressive. But still, HSPA Plus device, so if you're in an area that has that backhaul capabilities, you can certainly take advantage of it. Now, you do get a physical camera button over here, along with a volume rocker. You get your your power button, your headphone jack up there, and your micro USB charging port on the left side. So let's take a look and jump in here at camera. and have a look and see what the pictures look like. So 8 megapixel camera on this sucker. It supports 720p HD video recording. And we'll come in here and we'll take a picture. Let's do some phone-on-phone competition. I'll take a picture of the Galaxy Nexus, and we'll focus in particularly on the Google logo and see what we can do, at least with the image. So 8 megapixel camera here. All in all, pretty decent camera. Focus. And then we'll take a picture. And again, you know, one thing I really like about Windows Phone is quick and easy to take a picture. I press and hold, half press to focus, full press to take the picture, and you can see if focusing isn't a concern, I can pretty quickly and easily take pictures that still come out pretty decently, surprisingly, despite no autofocus. So you can see here, first of all, you can see I can switch between front-facing camera and rear-facing camera. I can switch to the camcorder, and then I have my settings here where I can change the white balance and some of the other stuff, turn the flash on and off, and more. What I really like is I can go in here directly from the camera application itself and go right into the gallery and see all my gallery pictures, and then when I'm done, just swipe right back and I'm in the camera application. So pretty easy. I really like that implementation of having both of those in one spot. It also has Xbox Live and Microsoft Office, like I said in part 1. So for Microsoft Office, you can come in here, you can do some notes, you can explore OneNote, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, and create new documents from here. You can see I can do templates if I want to, or I can create a blank Word or Excel document. I can view PowerPoints, but can't create them from the device. I can easily come in here into a Word document, and bam, it pops right up, and there it is. So you can see, again, you can use that in portrait or in landscape mode if you so desire. So you can edit those and view those from your mobile device on Windows Phone. Because, hey, it's a Microsoft device. What would it be without Office pre-installed? So all in all, you know, it's a good-looking device. It's got a lot of cool features. It does use Bing Maps and Bing for search. But you can see we'll bring it right in here to Charlotte. So you can see that I'm in the Center City area. I'm in the office right now. And you can see 277, the loop 77. So maps are pretty decent, and you do get the option to find your location, do directions, and more. Though that said, I'm kind of frustrated that right now in 2011, at least on Windows Phone, there's no turn-by-turn directions, at least with a navigator on Windows Phone out of the box. Now you do get it on the Nokia devices with Nokia Maps and Nokia Drive, but you don't get it with the stock version of Bing Maps. Likewise, Bing Search pre-installed, pretty quick and easy to access. Over here, it automatically locate where you are and gives you a pretty cool little history about the pictures in the background. So that's pretty cool. And then you can search directly from there, and you can see Scout, Music, Vision, and Voice. So you can do it a couple of different ways, and it, all in all, pretty easy, quick and easy to use. So all, you know, the HTC Titan, in conclusion, pretty decent device. Now it's going to go up against some Android devices, and Android's pretty popular right now. It's going to go up against the HTC Vivid, which is an LTE device. So if you're in an LTE market, I'd say, you know, maybe consider going with the Vivid, going with the Skyrocket, just because they have those capabilities and the Windows phones don't right now. But that said, $200 is a pretty decent price point for a phone with a nice display, a pretty good camera, a pretty powerful device, even though it has a single core processor, and then, you know, a good looking device to boot. So the Titan, you know, definitely recommended as the Windows Phone. It's definitely my favorite Windows Phone device on the market right now. Now that said, it goes up against some hot competitors on AT&T, so it'll be interesting to see in some dogfights in the next couple of days which one wins. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with HTC Titan. Keep it locked on the Facebook page, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Like us and follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on my personal Facebook page at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. More coverage to come on HTC's big old device, the HTC Titan. We'll see you next time.